Good afternoon, guys. Can you hear me? Hear me good? Do a mic
You know,
check.
you're great, Brian.
Awesome, man. How you doing
Yep,
today?
fair.
All right, wonderful.
Very well.
All right, I'm gonna send out a link all over the place. Try and get the space to fill up before we get started here. I'm gonna give it 2-3 minutes, and then we'll get going. Everybody in here, make sure you like, comment, and bookmark, repost, and let's fill this room. This is going to be a very, very good space today. Anything exciting happened today, Luck? How's your day going? Mm. All right, everyone. The room's filling up. I'm going to give it about another minute here before we get started with introductions, how the space is going to work, and then we'll roll right into it. This is a good one, so make sure you guys please like and retweet. I really want to fill this room up. EARN is a phenomenal project, one of the best that I've run into yet. And to be honest, I don't know if an hour is going to be long enough to go over all the stuff they have been building. So let's get we're going to start here in about a minute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 8, Build on PAW. And today's guest is Buy, Hold, Earn, the Earn project. And this one is special, guys. We're going to be going over some wonderful things. The Earn project is doing stuff that I have really never seen before, stuff with NFTs, reflections, hyper deflationary, you name it, they're building it. Mike and Medina are the developers of the project, and they are just wonderful people, great minds, great intentions, everything we want to be a part of with Paw Chain here. So I'm really looking forward to spot putting the spotlight on them, letting them tell us about their wonderful project. And there's going to be a lot of great conversation here today. For those who don't know, my name is Brian. I've been in crypto since 2019. I've been with the Paw Chain projects now for about 11 months. And I host these Build on Paw spaces to spotlight our communities and to encourage community growth and community outreach. We're all about building bridges at Paw Chain and doing collabs and partnering with projects who share the same goals as we do. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Mike from started. What are you guys building, and what are your goals?
Yeah, so what is EARN? I'm gonna try not to make this too lengthy, but go over what is EARN since inception and our reasons behind it. So EARN is a hyperdeflationary completely transparent, decentralized reflection token that was originally launched on Ethereum. EARN is also multi-chain. We exist on several different blockchains and we are expanding. So EARN is a reflection token that is also hyperdeflation, like I mentioned, on Ethereum, launched October of last year, 2023. So we've been around for a minute. We were launched fully transparent, an actual fair launch, meaning that we put our contract out to the public several days in advance so that people were able to view it, review it, and decide if they want to get in it or not. So we launched at the 5K market cap. That's right, $5,000 market cap. And as of today, we're sitting around 3 million market cap, but we've seen an all-time high recently of about 11.5 million. Being that we're a hyperdeflationary token and how everything functions, EARN is very unique and how the liquidity to market cap ratio expands and how, to put it simply, is designed to go up. So we are going to be expanding to another chain in the next few days, Avalanche, but the most recent chain that we expanded to was Base Chain, where you can go there right now on Base and buy EARN. So EARN has a few unique things to it. We have 2 NFT collections. One is the Flames and then the Flamelings. Both of these collections are a limited amount of 1,000 each. There are bounty rewards on both collections, where if you mint a particular trade color, you get rewarded EARN for a particular trade color that you mint. And there's a number of other cool things that come with those NFTs as well. So I know this is probably pretty lengthy. I can go in this for a while talking about, the project, what we're building, where we see it going. But yeah, I'll let Nadina touch on any points that I might have missed, and then feel free, Brian, to ask any questions about the project as we're going along.
Yeah, so in our project, as Michael mentioned, so the NFT collections are actually pretty central to the entire ecosystem. So we have the flames that basically represent like an outreach and collaboration across the crypto space, because they not only allow you as a holder to receive airdrops from partnerships, they also will play a role in future plans where we have collaborations in place, which we can possibly talk about later on. And the Flamelings, they are, you could say, almost like a support system for elevating individuals in the crypto space that want to make a name for themselves and learn how the crypto space works as almost like a business owner. So when you have a Flameling NFT, you can apply to launch your own Flameling token. Currently, we have been doing that on BNB. Those Flameling tokens are designed to be dividend tokens, so they airdrop EARN to all the Flameling token holders. So we launch roughly every, I would say, 2 weeks on average, a new token. And we put out a post where we have community members post why they should be the next one to be picked. We have been seeing those to be extremely successful, and some community members have put a lot of effort into creating the really unique ecosystem and plans that they have for the Flaming tokens, such as NFT collections, treasury wallets, paying out returns from investments into other tokens, and building partnerships with external projects. So yeah, we are really proud of that concept because it really has allowed community members to create their own project with the support from us, because we provide the contract, we provide the initial liquidity, and so the barrier of entry is much lower for individuals that haven't done this before. But we do have quite a few that actually have run their own project already. So that just like the fact that they can turn their Flameling, which they are unique, each of them is unique, that they can turn it into a token. And yeah, that's just expanding a little bit on that, and we can go in each aspect a little bit more in detail if you want to.
Absolutely. We'll definitely go into detail and expand because, in my opinion, I think you guys have one of the most unique NFT reward systems around. The way they're set up, the collectability of the flames and the flamelings, with all the different colors. I definitely want to get into that, how they work, how you guys have a bounty on the NFTs, they get rewarded and earn, and some of the other things that I definitely want to discuss. And first thing I want to discuss, though, because I know a lot of people don't know what it is, but if you guys can explain exactly what a reflection token is and how it works.
Yeah, I can dive into that, and then Nadina can add more of the technical side to it. So the way EARN is set up, it's designed to be a true reflection token, and that simply means that there is no contract, sell, swap, liquefy function that exists in the code. There is a tax or some called fee, and every single buy, sell, and transfer that occurs on EARN on ETH occurs this fee, that 2% transaction fee. Now, when that fee happens, basically in real time, tokens are updated in your wallet, or you call them distributed. They're updated in your wallet based on the proportion of tokens that you hold. So that means if you just buy the token, hold the token, you earn more of the token, which is why it's called buy, hold, earn. And it's very simple. You can just buy the token on ETH, and as people are buying it, selling it, transferring it, your balance is just growing exponentially because it's a compounding system. So the more you hold, the more you earn. So as you earn more, you earn, you hold more, you earn more, you earn more. Simple as that. So it's kind of wild. I mean, someone that only has like 1 million tokens could probably see themselves as a top holder when we get up to 100 million, $1 billion market cap, because their wallet is just growing for just sitting still. If anyone knows how auto compounding systems work, that's kind of a picture of the paint right there. Since there's no contract sell function, no swap liquefy, there are no annoying dumps on the chart that occur by the contract. It's simple, it's clean. Nadina went through and custom made the contract so that it's the most recent updated version of Solidity. And with us removing that contract sell function, as I mentioned a few times, it just makes it so that you can see these moments where the chart can go up parabolic and not have those contract sales that you might see in some other projects. So it's pretty cool. We've seen a few other projects do this in the past. To give an example, Kishu Inu, that was fairly popular back in 2021, but the scarcity of their token, in my opinion, really wasn't there, and also they weren't really a hyperinflationary token. And again, I say the word hyperinflationary because with the tax structure, it's going back to all holders. Every single buy, sell, and transfer that is being distributed out back to all holders. And the largest holder in EARN is the Burn wallet. At launch, we sent half of the supply to the Burn wallet so that that wallet is all the time, all day, every day, getting tokens. And like I said, it's compounding. So that means that the Burn wallet is collecting more tokens on every single buy, sell, and transfer, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. So you'll see us post on X, I think almost every day, a number, and that's just the current remaining circulating supply in the EARN ecosystem. And that number is getting smaller and smaller every single day. So it's pretty wild to watch that number decrease. I think right now we're sitting at 431 million. We're about to break below 431 million. Probably in the next few days, that's going to happen. And so if you basically just hold EARN, you earn more EARN in the hyperdeflationary ecosystem. So Nadina, you want to touch on how that works in the back end? Because some people will be like, I don't see any transactions, but my tokens are going up, that I hold in my wallet. So if you want to touch on that, that'd be cool to try to explain, how that works with folks.
Yeah, so the contract is basically derived from the reflection token contracts you have seen over the last, I would say, 3 years. So very popular was SafeMoon or Saitama. And they basically all use the same contract. It's pretty much one-to-one, just a copy of it. But yeah, the crypto space evolves extremely fast. So something that was very new and cutting edge in 2021 is not anymore in 2023, 2024. So what I basically did, I took the logic and the mathematical concept, how the reflections are distributed is the same as you would see it in another reflection contract. But as Michael said, I removed some functionality that we didn't want and tried to kind of gas optimize the contract a little bit, update it to the latest Solidity version. So because there are some security issues with older versions and stuff. So I just did that, and the reflection contract is a very cool thing, and the person that came up with it was really clever. How they used basically a mathematical concept, which we don't have to go into, but basically it enables the contract to update everyone's balance, including the reflections, at once on each transaction, which means it doesn't have to send individual tokens to individual accounts, which you might see in a dividend token, because when you have to distribute a different token, you need transactions. But for our contract or any reflection contract that basically rewards the same token that you're holding, it can do that in one go on each transaction. So you won't see any transfers that hit your wallet for your rewards. It's just when you retrieve the balance, you will get the updated balance, and you'll see that it has increased compared to the last time. That's kind of how that works. What the math is behind is probably not very interesting to anyone here in the space.
No.
Yeah, definitely not. But to us nerds, it definitely is interesting. It's something that I'm like trying to get more into, is like contract language, how smart contracts function and whatnot. But it just seems like an ingenious setup that there's just by simply holding earn, you are gaining rewards, right? You are getting more earn. It's just the hyper deflationary aspect of it is great because it's such return on investment just simply for holding. You're providing value to your investors. It's just a wonderful idea, and I just kind of want to get into some of the NFTs that you guys made, because I know they do similar things, like the flames reward the holders, the flame leans, like you guys touched on it, how you can become your own token. I believe it's on the BNB chain, and I just want you guys to explain a little bit about that. Explain the flames, explain the bounties, how that all works, where we can pick them up, how much they cost, and pretty much how, like, I like to know who designed the NFTs, because those flamelings, my God, are they addicting? And so I just want more. I look at them, I just see these cute little things, these colors. They're very well done. Just great NFTs. I know a lot of people create NFT collections, and you kind of look at them, and they're just like, man, that's a little plain. And oh, this one's wearing a hat. This one, is wearing a pair of glasses. And but you guys have done something totally different. So I just like you to explain the flames and the flamelings and how they all work.
Yeah, to go into the flames and the flamelings. So the flame collection of 1,000 was the original one that we launched shortly after the token had come out. From our research, we found that you need something to attach the token to identify with, and we couldn't think of a better way actually to have the flame in different trait colors actually that would work also as a gamified bounty reward system. And so to go into that, if you go to mint a flame or a flame wing, you can't mint one without earn. You have to have earn in your wallet to mint a flame or a flame wing, and it's 100K earn. We started off with 100K earn because at the very beginning it was roughly about $5 to $10 worth of earn to mint a flame or a flame wing in the very beginning. And we knew that as the price of earn went up, so would the value of the flame and flame wings go up, because you can't mint them without 100K earn. And some people are like, well, why don't you just make it so that there's less earn required to mint them? It's like, no, we want to create a system where the earn token is in demand if you want to get a flame or a flameling. And on the flames, which is similar to the flamelings are, there are bounty rewards on the blues, yellows, reds, and novas. Okay. So if you mint a Nova Flameling, which is the most rare right now, or a Nova Flame, when all of them are minted out, which particular collection, you will be rewarded 1.5 million earn for a Nova, 1 million for a red, 100K for a yellow, and 25,000 for a blue. Currently, those are the bounty rewards. And you can see those when you go to the minting site. Again, you need to have at least 100K earn to mint one flame or one flameling. If you don't want to use earn to mint, you can just go directly to Rarible or OpenSea, and you can purchase them directly off of the site with ETH or whatever cryptocurrencies being accepted on that website. But to mint them, which is a randomized mint, you have to use earn to do so. So that means that if earn is $1 per token, then yes, you're going to need $100,000 worth of earn to mint one flameling. And this is really unique with the flames and flamelings because as the price of earn goes up, so does the value of the NFTs go up. Because think this through: if you happen to mint a red NFT or flame or flameling NFT, or a Nova red flame or flameling NFT, and you know that once those NFTs mint out, you will be rewarded for a red one, for example, 1 million earn tokens. Now, mind you, I just said that the price of earn, as an example, is $1 per earn token, right? So if the NFTs all mint out and the price of earn is $1 per earn token, that means if you hold on to that red flame or red flame ling, you're going to be paid out 1 million earn tokens after it mints out, which is at $1, $1 million. So that means that you would not sell, logically, that red flame or red flame ling for less than $1 million on OpenSea or Rarible. It's creating this floor price for these NFTs as the price of earn goes up and down. I would probably doubt that there's anyone in our community today that would let a red flame go or flameling go for less than the bounty reward that they would get once they all mint out. It just wouldn't make any logical sense. So that's why I've said a number of times, I fully expect as earn becomes a bigger ecosystem that the flamelings and the flames will likely have a larger floor price than collections like Pudgy Penguins or the Bored Apes. I fully expect them to be much more expensive than those other collections out there as we keep growing. So the bounties are similar on the flamelings, like I mentioned with the flames. You'll see they're similar trait colors. You get the white ones, the blue ones, the yellows, reds, and novas. Now we utilized Midjourney. Nadina came up with the original concept for the artwork, but then we went through and spent quite a substantial amount of time trying to figure out what works, the look that we wanted. It took a minute to do, but we really are happy with the results of how they came out. And I think we spent about 3 or 4 weeks, roughly about a month, to come up with the design and go through them all and get the collection built. Now, again, Nadine is our in-house developer, so she designed everything in regards to the minting contracts, the websites, the reflection tracker, all that stuff, and more to make this happen. Because, like I said before, you don't mint these with ETH. You mint these with earn, and that's very cool with our system that we have in place. Because, as I mentioned, if you buy earn to mint a flameling or a flame, that is basically causing reflections and burns to happen inside of the ecosystem. So it's super cool.
How did you guys come up with the idea of the flamelings? And did you guys design them? And I'm just curious how that came about.
Yeah, so when we came up with the idea of earn, buy, hold, earn, we originally had thought of an idea of making a token actually that had reflections, but also was hyperdeflationary. We looked at a number of other projects that are out there from the past. We looked at like SafeMoon, Evermoon, Saitama, projects that sometimes would even call themselves reflection tokens, but then you look into them deeper and see that they only gave an eighth or even a quarter of their tax structure to the reflections. And sometimes you'll see half, but very rarely did you ever see a project do 100% of the fee towards reflections. And even more rare did you see them that were hyperdeflationary, where they had burned a large portion of their supply so that their main holder, substantially more, was actually getting most of those reflections. So being that we couldn't find anything like that, we said, oh, wow, this is a very unique system. Let's create a project. Let's make it simple too, very simple, buy, hold, and earn. And it was funny because for whatever reason, that domain wasn't even taken. The idea of it wasn't out there. You've seen some other earn tokens before, some on Pulse Chain, but nothing like this, surprisingly. So that was the start of the project. And since we had decided to make the largest holder, the burn wallet, at 50%, we said, well, that is a lot of burn. That is a very large burn wallet. And also, too, we had thought about the bear market being how dramatic that it has been this previous cycle. And we thought about like the flame representing the burn wallet, and also those that have, might sound cheesy, but those that have kept their flame burning throughout the bear market, because it's a lot to stay active and consistent and participate in building in the bear market, which, they say you want to build something big, you build in the bear market. And that's where the flame came from, the original flame logo. And so that was the start of EARN, and the logo that we picked for this project. And then from that, we always thought that we wanted to make something actually a little more charactered with the ecosystem. And that was how we came across designing these flame links, which are kind of like birthed out of the flames. These little fire, adorable flame creatures that you see in different trait colors.
Yeah, they're definitely some of the cutest, most addictive little guys I've seen in NFTs yet. So I want everyone to know a little bit about like your background, guys. How long have you been in the space? Like what brought you into this space? Like what got you started? And then when did EARN launch?
Yeah, so I'll tell you my background. I used to be an IT director, and then I moved into IT security. I was an IT security consultant here in Chicago. Most of our partners that we supported were law firms. So I did a lot of like disaster recovery, backup recovery, network support, security reviews for these companies. And so one thing I was tasked with was sometimes going out and unfortunately getting Bitcoin to pay for ransomware attacks. And so I became a little more curious about it at that point. I had known about it for a while. This is like back in 2014, 2015. But I wanted to figure out a simple way to just acquire it without having to go to a kiosk to purchase it to try to pay these ransoms. So I started GPU mining. And I did a little POC initially, which is a couple GPUs, some 1080s, and found that I was making off of one GPU back then 15 to 20 bucks per day off of a $400 GPU. And so I went down the rabbit hole of from one GPU to several hundred GPUs. And I had a pretty significant mining operation, something about two gigahash. If you guys are any better familiar with mining, what that is, it's quite a few GPUs. To put it in more perspective, my electricity bill per month was between $5,000 and $8,000 per month, or the power bill. And so a lot of yeah, it was pretty cool. And so yeah, I did that for years. I was a big miner. I had a bunch of rigs, had hydroponic tents where you had the miner rigs inside. Got a lot of CFM fans to suck the heat out and pump it out. Even had the police show up one time because I guess they thought I had a grow operation, and that let them know that no, this is a lot of computers running, and that's why the power bill was so high. So that does happen if you you mine for a little while. They do check that stuff.
Wait a minute, they thought you were growing weed? in the house from
Yeah, yeah,
all this?
yeah. They were curious, so they came and checked actually what it was. So I had to show them what I was doing. So that was interesting times. But yeah, I did that for a while, several years, until the pandemic hit, and it happened to coincide with also the Ethereum update to proof of stake versus proof of work. And we saw a serious decrease in mining profitability. And just felt like it was a good time to liquidate most of the GPUs because during the pandemic, I don't know if anyone knows, but there was a major chip shortage. And so these GPUs that I had been mining for years actually were more expensive then, or more expensive years later than what they were when I purchased them. Crazy. So I just decided to liquidate the GPUs, so actually kept all the motherboards and the PSUs, that sold off the farm, and then got more involved in DeFi in that space. So during my mining operation, Nadina and I actually talked crypto a lot, and so she got more involved into it out of curiosity, and she's more on the programming side of it. And I think she even did a little bit of mining at one point when I first gave her some Ethereum. I think it was roughly around like a few $100, if that, back then. But yeah, went big into DeFi, learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes in the space. EARN launched a little bit down the line, like I said, October of last year. But with our experiences in crypto and our experiences in mining and connections we've made in this space, I think we've learned a lot to run this project in a way that I think it's going to be extremely successful. So that's a little bit of my background in EARN. And Nadina, you want to talk about yours and how you kind of got into crypto?
Sure, yeah. So I actually, had also very unrelated background. I came to the States, and especially Chicago, for a PhD in computational sciences. I got the degree in biomedical engineering, but I was mainly doing data analysis, data modeling, also using some machine learning and AI as well. So I did a lot of programming during day to day. And I basically, when I met Michael, we met actually in a running group. So we would go on very long runs, like 15 miles. So you need to fill the void. And he would talk about crypto a lot and about his mining operation and things. And I was also, I heard about it. I heard about blockchain technology. I think I even sat into a seminar at some point at the university. And I just got really interested into technology. And yeah, I think my entry into crypto was really that Michael gave me some Ethereum on a wallet. And then when the pandemic hit and I worked from home, I had my lab computer at home, and which had a pretty good GPU. So then I configured it. So I was mining Ethereum for a little bit. And yeah, Michael is more of the risky investor than I was. I was more interested in just buying the large cap like Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe some Polkadot and Tezos. And so he was more the degen person. And yeah, he was obviously also dealing with all the scams in the space.
Wait,
And
Mike was a DJ? Are you?
I would say
Oh
so.
man.
Or do you disagree,
I would say
Michael?
was. I still say I'm a little bit of a DJ. I got that at me.
Okay.
I go like ape something sometimes and try things out. Solana not so much anymore. I find that whenever I try Solana play, I get burned.
It happens a lot on Solana.
Yeah, so then 2021, he got into mostly like BNB projects that was really hyped up, including all those reflection projects. And yeah, there were obviously most of them just crashed and burned. And we were like talking, and then, well, we should probably just launch our own project because that's the only way you know that you're not going to get scammed, you know? And that's how it got started. I got like very curious about the coding in Solidity and stuff like that, and Michael more into the operations side of things. And that's where we kind of started to learn about how to run our own project. And so basically we went through quite a bit of a learning experience throughout the last bull run and bear market before this bull run, essentially. And we then came up with that idea for EARN, which then launched last October. And we're excited about the project. We're excited to have these partnerships that we now get. I feel like it took a while until we really got to know the right people, where we feel like, oh, these people also care about not being a scam and wanting to get space to a place where people can comfortably trade and don't have to fear all the time that they get rocked or scammed. And now we feel like we have a lot of connections that we feel like people care about the same things, and we're very excited to go into the future with those partnerships, which we took a while to build.
No, it's a great story, and like a project like Earn, takes a long time to build, and it's the same thing with Paw Chain. We're actually way ahead of schedule of a lot of our projects, but people in the community getting impatient. And you talk about the future, and that kind of brings me into my last question here before I turn it over to Luck. Is I just want to know some of your plans for the future for like growth, expansion, and I know me and Mike have spoke about this before, that there is a very different idea of growth. Like people who know what growth looks like. It's got to be organic. It's got to be come from the inside. But a lot of people seem to think that you can just throw money and the price goes up. Like the project controls the price and controls the charge, which is just simply not true. You can burn through $1 million in the marketing and literally gain nothing out of it. Maybe you get a little pump, but you get an immediate dump. So I just want to know about what your plans are for growth, expansion, and what you guys have planned for the future.
Yeah, so anyone who's been following us in the community will see that we have been expanding onto additional blockchains. So like tomorrow, for example, we're going to be doing a liquidity integration launch on Avalanche, and go through the same process of getting that contract on our coin tracking sites like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Being able to expand on the different blockchains is big for exposure and bringing those additional communities in. Like I said before, since EARN is a hyperdeflationary reflection token, the way that this system works is that you create a way for it always to keep moving. The NFTs create movement. The Flamelink dividends reward tokens create movement. The additional blockchains that are paired to different tokens create movement through arbitrage. There's a lot of things here that are being tapped in to grow out this ecosystem. We're looking into, we are going to be the reserve currency too for ACM. That's Atlanta's coin markets down the line. We're looking to get onto a credit card with Ultimo, so that you can simply just purchase, a cup of coffee with your EARN tokens on the BNB side. We have, talking about roadmap, we have another 900 and 90 Flamelink dividends reward tokens that we plan on launching over the next probably 30 years on different blockchains. Our next one might be the last one we do on BNB. After that, we're probably gonna do some on like base chain, likely Polygon, maybe Arbitron down the line, to gain a lot more exposure there. And every single day, with us being a hyperdeflationary token, the floor is rising. Every single buy, sell, or transfer, a large amount of tokens are being burned out of circulation. So the price is rising dramatically fast. I know that some people will look at, our long-term outlook of EARN being at, $5 per token in 1 to 3 years. But I think that's actually a very short period of time, for especially in traditional finance. But yeah, like I tell everyone, just a DCA and expect volatility. I mean, things move really fast in this space. We're not a project that likes to like go around and pay a bunch of hype influencers to bring fast money in and fast money out. I don't see that as very beneficial in my opinion. I like the more organic growth approach. And also too, on that note, you can't predict those events anyway. Sometimes maybe an influencer will buy into the project and they'll tell their community you might get these parabolic explosions anyway. There's a lot of math in EARN that kind of enables that to happen completely unexpectedly, with like how many tokens are left in the V2 liquidity pool, how many tokens have been utilized to mint NFTs, because people will look at EARN and they'll see the circulating supply of like 431 million and think that's the circulating supply. But it's actually a lot less, dramatically less than that, because the tokens in the buy, hold, earn wallet, the second largest holder that you can see on Etherscan, is also like a burn wallet in a sense, because that wallet's not selling any tokens and it's collecting reflections. So that's not part of the circulation in a sense. So it's a lot. It's basically 431 million minus 113 million, which is what's available to be bought off the market, which is a lot less than what people are initially would think. And then you get all the tokens that are spread across all the blockchains, which is not counted for either, and different liquidity pools. And so EARN, just to say like frankly, can explode at any moment. When people look at the project and see that there's not enough tokens to even be a top 10 holder. Like that means essentially someone can come to the project right now, and if no one in the top 10 sells, there's only 16 million tokens in the V2 liquidity pool, which means if you even attempted to try to buy up the tokens to try to get into the top 10, hell, even the top 20, it's not even possible unless someone in the top 10 lets go of their entire bag. It just won't happen. And while that was all occurring, tokens are being burned, tokens are being redistributed. A lot is happening in that. So if you're looking at EARN right now, you're super early. I personally think this is a multi-billion-dollar market cap project once it starts catching on more, with more eyes being on it. And yeah, we're just organically growing and building and expanding at a pace that I think is rapid. With when you look at where we started at and where we've gone to and where we're at right now today.
So speaking of those flame link dividend tokens, you guys maybe think about launching some of those over on Paw Chain here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we definitely would love to expand those on different blockchains and look into, building out there. I mean, like I said, we're probably going to make this last one on BNB, and then try doing them on different chains. Paul Chain could be one of them as we do that. Like I said, Base Chain, Arbitrum, Polygon, because expanding those out to different chains and actually getting that EARN spread out there is ideal. I mean, there's not that much EARN, and the best way to do is spread it as thin as possible. To get it into as many people's pockets as you can.
Absolutely. I love the project. I love what you guys are doing. Like I said, the tech is superior. The way everything is built and intertwined, it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, and it's similar to like what we're doing at Paw Chain. How there's just these hundreds of pieces of code and contract and what we're building, and every piece is going to fit like a jigsaw puzzle to benefit the token, the one token ecosystem, and the investor is going to benefit from that. So I think that's pretty much it for the questions that I have. I'm going to turn over to Luck, see if he's got a question or two. And then Nadine and Mike, I will turn over to you if you guys got any questions for Pawchain. And then I would like to invite some speakers up if they have any comments or questions. So I'll turn it over to Luck now. What do you got, Bug?
Hey, Brian, and good afternoon to Michael and Nadina. Good to be here during this AMA between Pawchain and EARN. Apologies for missing my introduction earlier. I was unexpectedly disconnected from the space for some reason, but I help co-host these AMAs with Brian along with the Build On Pawchain account. I know firsthand that Brian was super excited for this one, so naturally it made me equally as excited. So I was eager to learn more about the project and its utilities and the community behind it. I do have a few questions before we bounce it back to you guys. In regards to the voting process and how it works with the community for the tokens who want to participate or collaborate with EARN. Does EARN have like a DAO, or does it attempt to incorporate one, or you guys just do like an online poll, like walk me through how that works, or that process and how it is?
Yeah, so at this point, it's basically, even though we have designed EARN as a community project and we try to have as much decentralization as possible, we happen to just be like the kind of the leaders, and because every project needs that in the beginning, otherwise it's just not going places. And so we kind of just post when we want to launch a new Flamelink token, we post it on X, and then we have people make their case, basically make a proposal by replying to the post. And then, yes, we pick right now, but we do run it sometimes past like other community members as well. We strategically usually take those that really prove themselves also within the community, because we want these Flamelink tokens to succeed and bring value to our ecosystem. And so we don't want people that maybe are like only half foot in and then might check out later. So people that kind of show that they're active, they're engaged, they come with new ideas, and so that's a good chance that you get your Flamelink token picked. But I would love to have in the future basically a more decentralized way of doing that with the DAO, with some voting system, maybe getting the NFTs even participate in that, so it can kind of run on its own, because I mean that would be the goal. So we create something that then can just live on its own without Michael and Adina kind of telling in which direction it goes, but that it's completely community driven. But this takes a while until the community is also large enough and we have the infrastructure in place to allow that to happen. But I would love to create some DAO, and we have that fully decentralized process of picking the Flamelink tokens and launching them. That could all be done on the chain, obviously. So yeah, these are plans and ideas for the future. But for now, it's us picking those that we think will add most value to the ecosystem.
Yeah, when I was trying to explain it earlier, I'm sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, a big reason why we do that too is that we did try initially kind of a random number draw, and we just found sometimes it's just better overall if you just, eyeball who's, like Nadine said, who's most active, who really wants it, if someone actually gets picked and they kind of like, foot in the door, one foot in the door, one foot out the door, then it's just like you want it to do well. And so it's easier for you just know that, especially since we're here day in and day out, building up EARN, that we can see who's active in the community. We can see who's, on spaces, who's in this VC right now, listening with us, in this space. And so that's kind of the process that we do now. And then, yeah, like Nadina said, down the line, it'd be nice to have something more decentralized, but it's probably going to be like this for a little bit, since we're at such a early stage with this project.
Gotcha. No, yeah, I think definitely you guys could do well with a DAO. That's why it sounded like that's why I brought it up, the question about a DAO, if you guys are going to incorporate one or if you guys were thinking about it, because I think it would fit well with your project for sure. My next question is in regards to the reflections. I understand they're a big utility for EARN, but I don't know if I missed the part in regards to where they come from. Do they come from taxes on the buys and sells? And like, what's that percentage like? And if not, where do the reflections come from?
Yeah, so the reflections do come from the taxes, but not just on buys and sells, but also on transfers. And so EARN is a true reflection token. There aren't any taxes that go anywhere else. There's a 2% tax on the token, and that's buy, sell, and transfer 222. And so every single buy, sell, or transfer, basically any transaction, reflections are redistributed out to all holders. One of the biggest holders, well, the biggest holder is the Burn wallet. So if you basically just buy, hold, EARN, you earn more EARN as a holder. And that's it's simple and it's clean like that. So you don't see any transactions in your wallet being sent to you, because the way that works is that it's uniquely updating a hidden ledger. So it just looks at the portion that you hold, and whenever there's a transaction, the token count in your wallet just automatically goes up in real time in your wallet. And so all you need to do is simply, if you wanted to earn reflections, is just buy the token and hold the token. And then you just earn reflections on every single time there's an interaction, a buy, sell, or transfer on EARN, on ETH. If you hold EARN on one of the other blockchains, say Base, BNB, or Solana, you're not going to get reflections on that side, but you're also not paying any tax on buy, sells, or transfers over there. Those are more for like transactions. But because it's the same token that is on ETH, that is on BNB, that's on all the other chains, because that supply is only, the same supply shared across all these blockchains, you're still holding a hyperdeflationary token. So every single time there's a transaction, a buy, sell, or transfer on the Ethereum side, there's less tokens available in the entire ecosystem. So that makes it so that if you hold EARN on Solana, you're holding a hyperdeflationary token on Solana. Same on BNB, same on Base. It's just you're just not getting reflections on top of your tokens, but it's still hyperdeflationary.
Gotcha. I do know with the reflections, they can be cumbersome for like central exchanges. Like they kind of frown on it. At one point they did. Have you guys ever had conversations with central exchanges, and did that ever cause like limitations, or they give you any resistance, pushback even, when you guys talk about like the reflection contract and how it could work with the central exchange? Or how do you foresee those conversations happening when they do come about?
So we listed on C Wallet recently, which is kind of like an exchange in a sense. And the conversation with them actually works out really well because, like I said, on BNB, which is with the token, the chain that we're listed the C Wallet, there aren't any reflections on that side. It's a hyperdeflationary token, but there's zero tax. So that was part of the thing that we thought about when we were building on EARN. We wanted to create a way that we could get listed on exchanges on different blockchains, and there would never be an issue with the tax part of it. So now that we have EARN on different blockchains like Base, BNB, Solana, we can have them list those contracts. They can list a contract for BNB per se, and then you can deposit your tokens onto their exchange utilizing the BNB chain, in and out, no taxes. But if you wanted to actually go back to Ethereum, you could just withdraw the BNB, and then you can use deport to go back over to Ethereum and just kind of just park it there and allow yourself to earn those reflections. So that's how we work with C Wallet, and how we'll probably work with other exchanges down the line too, so that people can just move to an exchange utilizing the BNB side or Solana side or the base chain side, whichever we integrate with the exchange, and then they can just go out to those other chains and then land back on the Ethereum side whenever they want to.
Gotcha. Cool. Thanks for answering those questions. I appreciate it. I have nothing further to ask. So if yourself or Nadina have any questions in regards to PAW Chain that myself or Brian can help you answer, or find the answer to, we'd love to help you out with that.
Yeah, Nadine, did you want to tap in real quick? I did have a question come up for myself, but I don't know if you have anything to put in for these guys right now.
Yeah, I'm more like from the developer side. Like I've been like looking at your website and trying to see if that documentation button is going to work. Do you have like a timeline on when you are ready to release the documentation for PAW Chain, or if there is some document that's already out that I could get a sneak peek on it, because I'm really curious how this all works on the technical side.
Yes, there 100% will be documentation, and I believe that is going to be coming after our audits come back from CertIC, and then before our mainnet launch. But yes, we will have a massive amount of technical documentation that will become available.
Right.
And once they're wrapping up the final bit of code for the validators on our beta testnet, and then once they get that over to CertIC, they will start working on the tech documentation. But yes, everything will become available and shared. And as soon as it does, I can definitely let you guys know.
Awesome.
So I did a question from one of our community members. They were saying, like, if we add EARN liquidity is provided to PAW Swap, can you swap ETH, Arbitrum, BSC, Polygon? I think what this question is kind of tying to. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bridge. They have a cross-chain swap. I think this is actually similar to chain swap. So basically, I try to wrap my head around this. So if you have EARN listed and it's liquidity provided, you can just go across different chains if you provide the liquidity, or does it, like, how does that work? How does it tap into the different liquidity pools on the different chains to provide you that token on that set chain? Okay, can you explain how that works?
Look, you want to take this one? You want me to do it?
Yeah, I can tap into it. From what I understand, basically what you're doing is you're providing liquidity to Paw Chain. You're going to create the pair with Earn and the Paw Chain coin itself, and then whatever liquidity pool we're attached to, we as Paw Chain, um, your holders or your potential buyers, your new customers are able to buy, sell, trade on Paw Swap, Earn to whatever chain that we are connected to.
I see how this is working. So like, yeah, so it's an earn Paul pair, and since Paul is tied to these other pools, then you're able to route through it and go back around to the other side, like a circle like that,
So
right?
we would have to provide essentially liquidity pools for each chain, and then they will be basically be connected together.
Not each chain, just the Paul earn pair, and then it filters through to all the Paul pairs that it has. That's what's happening. I see that because I've seen something like that. So like you do a pairing of like token A to Paul, and then because Paul is tied to multiple liquidity pools, when someone goes to buy earn with ETH, BNB, or Solana, it routes through Paul because the pairing is there, and then it goes around and comes back again to whatever so you guys have liquidities pool set up with different blockchains, and it's just routing back.
Right.
Again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're gonna just pick like probably. I mean, there's no official number, but we keep spitballing about maybe 6 different chains that we're gonna work with. 6 of the most popular chains. I can guess BNB, Solana, ETH, Base, probably Avalanche, Arbitrum. The more popular ones to start with, and then eventually just expand from there. I think Brian did post something in the Nest. I created about like a month ago a pretty elaborate tweet in regards to like how it works and how it functions. I suggest looking at that. It's pretty in depth. Brian, if you want to read it, you can read it. I know you've been reading them in past spaces before, but I actually, Mike, I want to spin a question back to you in regards to the reflections, or Nadina as well, whoever wants to take it. Did you say earlier that you're only getting reflections from one chain and it's ETH, or are you getting reflections from other chains as well?
Just the ETH chain, because Earn launched on ETH, but the way it works is that they're basically wrapped proxy contracts on the other chains. We wanted them to be a zero tax environment to making transactable currencies, and also you wouldn't have to deal with the issues with reflections on the exchanges too, because it would just accumulate in one wallet, an exchange wallet, and that's its own thing. But as a transactable currency, something you go buy a cup of coffee with, not everyone wants to spend a transaction tax. So Earn on ETH becomes like a savings account where most people will have the larger amount of their funds sitting. But then you have all the other chains that serve their own purpose with like different utility use case and how you transact them across their blockchains. So that's how the system's designed. So if you just bought Earn on ETH, you could just park it there and you would earn reflections and also participate in the hyperinflationary aspect. But if you bought Earn on BNB, for example, you're not getting reflections, but as every single time there's a transaction for whatever reason that occurs on the ETH side, there's less tokens that exist in the entire ecosystem. So your tokens, in a sense, become more valuable because there's less of them with every single transaction that occurs on ETH for whatever reason. Somebody buying tokens of an NFT, someone bridging tokens over to a different chain to take advantage of price arbitrage, because on every chain we are attached to a different token. Like, for example, our AVAX integration is going to be on Avalanche. So if Avalanche goes up or down in price, there is an arbitrage opportunity between Earn ETH and Earn AVAX. Same thing with Solana. If Solana goes up and down to like $1,000, now there's a reason to move your Earn from Ethereum over to Solana to take advantage of the price difference, which is a transaction, which means tokens are being burned or being reflected on the ETH side. It's all about keeping the merry-go-round moving and running, It's a perpetual motion machine, exactly. And I figure it's no way for it to stop as long as crypto doesn't stop. If ETH stops moving or Solana stops moving, then yes. But as long as those cryptocurrencies are moving in one direction or another, there's always going to be an arbitrage opportunity, which means there's always going to be a reason for tokens to move around in some way. And that's why the transaction fee was necessary, so that it constantly keeps tokens burning. Because otherwise, if it's just buy or sells, the reflections would stop when buys or sells stops, and then people can transfer between wallet and back and forth, and the burning and the reflections would just cease to exist. So that's a big part of why we did that.
Gotcha. Understood. Are you able to do that with like the BNB chain, for example? I'm like trying to understand if PAW chain can help you and the community earn more reflections by, having the liquidity, like majority of your liquidity on PAW chain, where because you're not gonna have to worry about arbitrage, I believe, with PAW chain. I think it's gonna take care of itself. So like if majority of your customer base is on, PAW chain, buy, selling, and trading, and you could earn more reflections, with that customer base dealing with different liquidity pools, that might be beneficial to you guys. But I was just curious. I think it's something I have to ask our CTO about and see what's possible and what's not. Because I mean that'd be pretty cool if you could, still have your community earn more reflections, not just off the ETH chain, but off of, multiple chains. You know what I mean? So
That'd be interesting to see how that would. Yeah, I would interesting to see how that worked, because and Adina was kind of looking at. Well, we went the route of like the proxy contract route, with it's a non-reflection token on BNB. But I don't. It'd be interesting to see like if we put tokens over to PAW chain, would those tokens over there be also, would it copy the tax structure on that side, and how that would even work? Because that'd be interesting to have a low fee token on PAW chain that also exists in a reflection like system. Because right now on BNB, on Solana, of course, Solana's like, except for the token program 2022, and on Base, those are non-taxes. But we haven't really looked into a way to actually do a reflection token on another chain yet. But I mean, as far as the arbitrage thing between the chains, we actually invite it because it's actually part of how we keep the merry-go-round running. Because as long as there is an opportunity, you create the opportunity, the incentive to move. And as long as there's an incentive to move, the system keeps moving. And that's what I said, that as long as crypto keeps moving up or down, the protocol is going to keep moving. It makes it so it's not dependent on people buying and selling. They're incentivized to buy and sell too, if they see there's a price difference on Solana because Solana has gone up in price and EARN is tied to Sol. Or they see that there is a price difference on EARN AVAX because AVAX is blown up, and now they would want to move from ETH to AVAX and sell their EARN there, which again is movement. I guess it would be the same thing with PAW too, right? If we moved liquidity to PAW, then if PAW blew up in price, then people would want to move over from ETH side over to PAW. I guess we'll have to see how that works technically, because if you move tokens over to that chain, do they get reflections, and how does that all work? What do you think about that, Adina? Like, how would that work with like reflections existing in that area and then going back over to a different chain, like back over to BNB or Solana? Like, how do you think that would work?
Yeah, so I think what I still try to wrap my head around is like, I do understand, I think the multi-chain swap feature, but how is, for example, a token then moved on another chain? Is that even possible? Or how do you do that? How I looked into it, it's fairly difficult to provide reflections on different chains, because the contracts, if you want to have them, the supply connected, then you have the contracts communicate with each other, because the reflections that each account gets is dependent on the total supply and the total reflections being distributed. So you would have to let every smart contract on each chain have somehow a synchronization between them. Otherwise, I only see a way of doing that is basically redeploying a new contract, but that would then have its own supply and its own hyperdeflationary feature. So yeah, that was my. So I feel like I have to really understand like the core of the technology, how it works, to get a good grasp on like what we could do with our token. But I mean, that would be an interesting aspect of having some reflections working on PAW or like another blockchain as
I
well.
feel like, I don't know, like the technicals behind it, but I feel like it has to be possible. I mean, like you see these vaults, right? And then you send tokens to a contract, and then they exist inside. I'm probably messing this up technically, but they go to this contract and they exist inside of this vault. And then while they're in there, whatever they're doing inside there, moving back and forth, I feel like it'd be cool if there was some different tax structure, right, that would make it a reflection token. And then when they come back out, then they return back to their normal self, if that makes any sense. But it's just in and out, you know, like whatever goes on inside the vault, it's like that's its own chain, right? But then when it comes back out of the vault, then it goes back. You know, I think that I'm talking about what is it when you have a crypto? I can't think of it. We talked about it yesterday when tokens in and then a reserve. Yeah, you go into reserve, and then what it does inside the reserve, it's its own business, because it could be a reflection token, but when it comes out again, it's a one-to-one coming back out. Does that make sense? I don't know how that would be designed, but I would see a picture like that potentially working. I don't know how you would technically build it though.
It's making sense, but like Nadina said, we'll have to get some more of the technicals on it because now my interest is extremely peaked. I'm gonna get some info to our CTO and see about this, how it would work for a reflection token like EARN, because I am very curious about this because it'll be something that'll be pretty cool to make work. And like you said, Mike, I think there you'll be able to make it happen. But
It
I
sounds
definitely want to get some
logical to
information. Yeah,
me.
it does.
Yeah, it's like just go in, do your thing, come back out one-to-one. You know, it's like if you put 1,000 tokens into this vault, and then people are moving them around, there's still only 1,000 tokens in the vault. But based on the movement that happens inside the vault, people are getting more tokens because they're being reflected based off of transactions. It has its own liquidity pool, it has its own movement, but it's a reflection token that's existing inside the vault. But then when tokens come out of the vault, it's one-to-one, comes back. And so, you know, one-to-one, it always, what goes in comes out. But what happens inside the vault is its own thing. I think that makes sense to do something like that. I don't know, it's drawn up, but it makes sense to me.
I'll tell you what, though, it does sound possible. It does sound interesting. I think we do have to have a conversation with our CTO. And if it is possible, and indeed we can make it happen, I think EARN would be the first multi-chain reflectionary token in existence.
I mean, that would be cool. I mean, that'd be really cool, because like that's essentially how it works without the reflection piece on BNB. Because once it goes over there, it's not. But you see that the tokens go tokens in, tokens out. You know. But it'd be cool if we can figure out a way to do that, because I think that would be attractive to people to say, okay, I have EARN on PAW chain, and now I have the option of going EARN to AVAX, EARN to BNB, EARN to Solana, but then I can go EARN to PAW. And no, wait, my EARN on PAW is actually a reflection token too, not just on the ETH side.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to find some more information about on this. And then once I do, I'll definitely be in contact with you guys, and I'll provide once we get all the technical documentation, I'll get that to Nadina, and you guys can go ahead and have a look, because I think there's a massive opportunity for not only EARN but for PAW Chain as well to do what Lux said about a multi-chain reflection token would just be insane. It'd be something so cool to do. We're past the hour here. I knew this was going to go long because I mean, I can just keep talking crypto and tech with you guys all night long. But I want to take at least one question. We got one speaker up here. I want to give him an opportunity to ask a question. So I'm going to throw it down to Blessing. Blessing, what do you got, man? Thanks for being patient. I appreciate it. Blessing, are you still there, man? There he is. Can anybody hear him?
I can't. I wasn't sure.
No.
Okay, I want to chime in there and make sure. Okay, I'll just Blessing. I'm about to drop you down and try and rejoin. If not, we'll have to get to it in the next space here. But if anyone else, so we got time, I'll take one quick question. If anybody wants to come up and ask a question to Nadina or Mike about EARN, or come up and have a paw chain question, feel free to come up on here in the next 30 seconds or so. If not, I will get into closing thoughts on the space. So, like I said, this is a phenomenal project, guys. We just barely got into the tip of the iceberg about what EARN is building, what they're doing, the concept of a reflection token going multi-chain. We're going to start to have some serious conversations and get with our team to see if this is something possible. NFT flamelings launching on multiple chains, providing value to the investors. It's just really awesome stuff. So since we don't have another speaker coming up, I'm just going to toss it over to Luck and then Mike and Nadina for closing thoughts, and then I will have closing thoughts, and I will wrap up the space. So Luck, what do you got, man?
Thanks, Brian. Like I was saying earlier, Brian and myself, we co-host these Build on PAW chain AMAs, and we find them invaluable for not only building on PAW, but also like fostering connections within both of our communities. In today's episode, we did, EARN, and our community in PAW were able to understand and get a better idea on who the project is, what they do, and how it functions. And vice versa too. The community from EARN, I've seen them in here as well, and they're able to learn about us and what we're doing and what we're trying to help, the community do, or I'm sorry, the crypto space grow into. And I think it's exceptional. Ultimately, Podchain always seeks out exceptional projects to join its ecosystem, and I think EARN definitely fulfills that criteria. I'm hoping that we can get this done where we can see EARN being the very first multi-chain reflectionary token. But I do appreciate Mike's time and Nadina's time today and letting us know more about the EARN project. And I'm looking forward. And Brian, you already said it, dude. Like, this thing could easily went another 2 hours, and I probably would have blinked an eye, and that much time would have went by. But I appreciate both of you. I appreciate both your guys' time, and I look forward to doing up like maybe another space in the near future.
Yeah, thank you, Luke and Brian. No, we're very pleased to be here. And thanks everyone for tuning in and get to know EARN a little bit and having this opportunity to talk about it. Because, yeah, we're very excited. We're very excited about building partnerships. We actually have a partnership program going on with EARN. So if you're a token project or just any crypto project and you would like to collaborate, if it just comes to cross promotion and helping each other out in terms of development, discuss brainstorming how your project and EARN can move into the future, that please go to the website and fill out the application. It's nothing difficult, just a few things that we have as requirements, but we already have some partnerships, and I kind of view PAW as a partnership as well, even though it's not official. But how we were able to interact with Brian and discuss our plans and learn about PAW I think that's what it's all about here in the space. And I think that just makes hopefully all the communities that really want to build something good in the space, gives it a little bit more power, because we're kind of fighting against the bad actors here. But no, we really enjoyed being on the space here. We hope that we can collaborate in the future sometime. I also like the idea of the first multi-chain reflection token as well. So I'm excited to look into that more and how that would work. And yeah, I hope also we can come back at some point and give some updates and where we're headed. So thank you everyone for tuning in.
No, I appreciate that, everyone, too. I'm just going to add a few things for folks that might have missed it. We are doing the biggest buy competition in the chats, if you guys are following that. And if you guys want some free earn, you can go to the TG and then click on grab. There's a pinned message there. It's just first come, first serve for the first 100 users. It's basically about 10 cents worth of earn that you can go grab. And yeah, we look forward to more AMAs, more updates, and discussing more stuff in regards to earn and PAW in the future. I appreciate everyone that took the time to join the space today. And Brian, it's always good talking to you, man. And like I said, we could talk tech for a while in regards to everything that's being done out there in the space. But I know we're limited time today. But it's great catching up with everyone.
Absolutely, guys, and we will definitely have future spaces. I know we'll see each other in future spaces, and there will be a collaboration in the works. We're going to get in communication to try and come up with something, because Earn is the exact type of project. You guys are the type of people that we want to work with at Paw Chain, and I think we can both help each other out greatly, help each other's communities out greatly, and benefit each other by collaborating. And like I said, and me and Mike have spoken about this before, it's not just going to come from within, right? It's not just going to be earn holders that are going to build earn. It's not just going to be paw chain holders that are going to build paw chain. It's going to take multiple communities working together, getting to know other wonderful communities to introduce them to these great and these awesome projects. And just speaking about Earn, that it's not only a great, incredible project. Mike and Medina, I just want to say you guys are wonderful, wonderful people. I had the opportunity to meet them in person. They hosted a play and earn event at their home, where I came over, drank some beer, and we played Super Smash Brothers and talked crypto. It was so awesome. They were so kind, so welcoming, just great people. I really, really love your project. I want to work with you guys. I want the collab. I want to see this succeed, and I can't wait for what the future holds. We'll definitely be in conversation, and we definitely have to set up another space. So I just want to give a reminder to everyone in the room: make sure you follow the Earn account. Make sure you follow Nadina, follow Michael, follow the Build On PAW account, follow myself, follow Luck, follow each other in the room. And I thank you guys for your time. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be right here learning about Paw Chain, learning about Earn. Give their website a look, hop in their Telegram, go say hi. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And until next time, have a good night.